It's your favorite slime back with some fun adventures that definitely doesn't involve a woman. He is so deep in the V-zone, he has made it his country. The episode starts with a crowd of anxious hobgoblins gathering around Rimuru, anticipating his reply as he tastes meat skewers for the first time after being reincarnated, wondering if they would gather outside his room for his time too. Rimuru initially gives a bad impression, but later jumps up in excitement as the skewers taste good. Kind of like, yeah, I am not going to tell you. Rimuru is finally happy to have his taste buds back, and all is right in the world afterward. Rimuru, the hobgoblins, dwarves, and ogres enjoy themselves, eating and drinking, although they are surprised that the orcs, despite being weaker, attack the ogres. Kinda ruins the whole size matters situation, doesn't it? The young ogre master then explains to them what happened. It turns out that a few days ago, a group of orcs attacked the village unexpectedly, carrying weapons and wearing armor, and filled the village with their oppressive number of orcs. The group is surprised that the orcs are putting on armor and figures out that they are working for someone, the Demon Lord. The young master remembers that a high-level masked magian was among the orcs, standing over his father's corpse, which is why he fought with Rimuru, as he believes Rimuru was the masked magian. Yeah, that worked out well. Rimuru finally understands why the young prince is angry, as only 6 brethren remain out of 300. Now we know how the gladiators felt. Rimuru then asks him about his future plans, if they will be rebuilding their village or relocating to another village, as he is the leader of the village. The young prince states that they are going to build their strength and take on the demons again, but Rimuru wonders where he will find them and figures out that he does not have a plan. Yes, of course he doesn't. This is the same guy who would fight anyone in a mask. Rimuru suggests that they become his subordinates, as food, shelter, and clothing are guaranteed. He states that the town isn't safe anymore since a demon lord is behind the attack, and adding more to their numbers will benefit them. Yeah, right. The young prince tells him that he needs time to think about it. The same thing my crush said, but I never heard from her again. An ogre tells him that the offer is good, but it's still his choice to make. The next day, the young prince meets Rimuru and informs him that he will accept the proposal, but the contract will last until they take out the orcs' leader. That's the whole idea, dum-dum. Was he even listening? Rimuru tells him that he can do whatever he likes after they defeat the orcs. The young prince accepts the offer and pledges his loyalty to Rimuru. Now he finally has a chance with a real girl. Rimuru decides to name the 6 ogres, and he falls asleep after giving them names. After 3 days, Rimuru wakes up and finds out that the young prince, now Benimaru Kijin, an uncommon race of born ogres. Rimuru names the princess Shuna and the other female ogre Shion. The 6 ogres are now Kijin. Thanks, Rimuru. And the great sage informs him that he used the same number of magicules in naming the 6 ogres. Wish a name could make me stronger. Although the girls look hot. Meanwhile, in the middle of the great forest, Lake Sis, the Lizardmen report to their chieftain about the army of the orcs spotted south of the lake, and they believe that they are there to invade their territory. This is not going to end well. The chieftain informs them to prepare for war, but finds out that the orcs' army consists of 200,000 orcs, which is twice their population, and that would make anyone wet themselves. The chieftain believes that only the Orc Lord, a unique monster of legend, is the only person capable of keeping and feeding such amounts of orcs, which is a key word for "we are toast." He admits that it will be difficult for them to win the battle if an Orc Lord is truly born. Yep, they are going to die. He suggests that they request backup and call on his son Gabiru, as Lord Gelman had named him, and gives him a request. Back in the goblins' village, Akurao, the oldest ogre, coaches some goblins, including Gopta, in swordsmanship. Benimaru informs Rimuru that an Orc Lord is usually born every few centuries and thinks that the orcs that attacked them were unfazed by the death of their own, as a new Orc Lord might have been born. Rimuru asks if he knows why orcs attacked him, and Benimaru reveals that a magian visited them before the attack and offers to name him, but he chased the magian away because he doesn't look trustworthy. Benimaru mentions that the magian's name is Gelmud, and Rimuru remembers that he was the same person that named Rigur's elder brother. Soon, Sue, another ogre, informs Rimuru that he witnesses a group of lizardmen and figures out that they might be attempting to negotiate with a nearby goblin village, as it's unusual to see them around. It turns out that Sue is right, as the chieftain of the Lizardmen sent his son to enlist the help of a nearby goblin village. While they journey, the Lizardmen asks Gabiru when he will be the chieftain, as they believe he is as mighty as his father during his glory days, but Gabiru tells them that he still falls far short of his father. Gabiru, however, tells them that he will be the next chieftain once he drives the orcs away, and the Lizardmen hail him, even though they are going to die terrible deaths. It's been a few days since the ogres joined the village, and everyone commits themselves to developing the town, except for developing Rimuru's love life, of course. Shuna joins Kaijin and the dwarf brothers in making clothes for everyone using silk material, and Shion is working as Rimuru's secretary and bodyguard. The only thing she's really guarding is her chest. However, Shuna states that she can take care of him, and the two girls begin a rivalry over who will take care of him. Never thought I would see the day two hot girls would fight over a 37-year-old virgin. Shuna asks him who he would prefer, and Rimuru tells her that she can render her help whenever she's free, which makes her happy. Shion and Rimuru join Benimaru and another ogre at the table and ask if they will join him to eat, as Shion prepared a meal for him, but the three reject the offer, which surprises Rimuru. However, Rimuru soon realizes why they refuse to eat with him, as they know that Shion cannot cook, and slimes can't puke, right? Akurao completely makes himself invisible, and Benimaru turns his face away, leaving Rimuru with no choice but to eat the meal. Careful what you wish for. The great sage also makes fun of him, saying that he will not die if he closes his eyes and inserts the spoon at an angle from the right. Rimuru then puts the spoon of the meal into Gobta's mouth, causing him to groan in pain and faint. He then tells Shion to always get Benimaru's approval first anytime she prepares a meal for Benimaru. Meanwhile, the Lizardmen find that the next goblin village had a total of 7,000 goblins, a settlement of tamed direwolves, with Slime being their leader, and the Lizardmen encourage Gabiru, hailing him again because why not? Gabiru is happy, as he thinks that the direwolves would be under his control if the Slime agrees to help them. While Kaijin, Kurobe, and Rimuru talk, Rigard interrupts them to inform Rimuru about the group of Lizardmen that arrived in the town. Benimaru offers to accompany him to find out what Lizardmen are up to. The Lizardmen make a dramatic entrance as Gabiru walks towards Rimuru. He introduces himself and asks them to serve under him, telling them to consider it a great honor. Oh, no, he didn't. The group is surprised and angry at him for insulting the great Rimuru. Here comes the pain. Rimuru admits that forming an ally with the Lizardmen is a good idea, but he doesn't want Gabiru to watch his back. Gabiru continues to insult them, as he says that he will make those who have tamed direwolves officers in his army. He is seriously getting punched in the face. However, Rimuru tells him that they made the direwolves their allies, but Gabiru does not believe this and makes fun of Rimuru. Rimuru then summons Ranga, and Gabiru asks if he's the leader of direwolves. He tells Ranga that it's disappointing as his master is Slime, and says that he is going to defeat Rimuru for him. So basically, he chose death. The Lizardmen hail Gabiru. However, Ranga is angry, and he's about to attack him for insulting his master. Meanwhile, Gobta is still alive, and the group is surprised to see him. The great sage explains that he gained the poison-resistant skills to counteract Shion's cooking, and the group is impressed. Now he can survive anything. However, Ranga sees it as perfect timing and asks Gobta to defeat Gabiru. Ranga tells Gabiru that he will consider his offer if he defeats Gobta, and Gabiru accepts as he thinks Gobta is a weakling. I can't wait to see how this ends. Rimuru motivates Gobta and tells him that he will have Kurobe make a special weapon for him if he wins, and he will eat Shion's cooking if he loses, which is way worse than dying. Surprisingly, Gobta defeats Gabiru easily with just one punch to the head as he uses shadow movement. Well, that was anticlimactic. Everyone is happy, and Rimuru tells the Lizardmen that they will consider helping them to fight the orcs, but they aren't going to serve them. Well, except Shion's cooking. Yuck. The Lizardmen carry Gabiru and insist that they will be back running with their tails in between their legs. Meanwhile, the army of orcs continues to cross Lake Sis, and Sue spies on them. He soon returns to the town to inform Rimuru about the number of the orcs and deduces that they will be attacking the Lizardmen's territory. Yeah, no kidding, genius. Kaijin states that the orcs are not very intelligent monsters and figures out that they have someone powerful backing them. Rimuru thinks that the powerful person might be a demon lord, but concludes that the demon lord is not Shizu's summoner. However, Benimaru thinks that it's likely an Orc Lord has been born. While they talk, Sue informs Rimuru that one of his clones scouting the area made an encounter, a Dryad, and would like to speak with Rimuru. Everyone is surprised, as it has been several decades since the last Dryad showed itself, and Rimuru accepts to speak with her. The virgin is no longer a loser! Sue calls on her, and she appears on the table. The Dryad apologizes for the unannounced visit and says that her name is Trainee. Trainee requests Rimuru to defeat the Orc Lord, proving that an Orc Lord has truly been born. Rimuru is surprised at her request, but Benimaru thinks that it's a selfish request as she just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah, not cool. Trainee informs them that the Dryads cannot defeat the Orcs Lord, and that's why they need the help of someone stronger than them. However, Rimuru asks her to give him some time to think about her request, and Rimuru introduces himself as the leader of the town. Big flex, not gonna lie. Rimuru holds a conference meeting and asks if anyone knows what the orcs are after. Shuna says that she has an idea and asks Sue if he investigated their village. Sue confirms that he did and says that both ogres and orcs' corpses have disappeared. Trainee explains that the unique skill is called Starved, as the orcs gain the ability to eat any victim and gain its ability for themselves any time an orc evolves into an Orc Lord. Trainee states the unique skill is similar to Rimuru's Predator skill and says that the skill makes the orc feel constant hunger, causing them to move forward to feed and gain more powers. Yikes, that's a nasty ability. Rimuru makes fun of the Tempest Wolves, Kijin, and Hobgoblins as they have the power the orcs seek, and Benimaru reminds him that he is the strongest slime, making him to be their first target. Who's laughing now? Trainee finishes her drink and reminds Rimuru that he is the only hope capable of defeating the orcs and asks him to destroy them. Maybe he might even get laid as a thank you. Rimuru is not sure if he can trust her and asks the Great Sage. The Great Sage informs him that the Dryads are the keeper of the forest, and they pass divine justice on anyone that tries to harm the forest. However, before Rimuru is able to give his reply, Shion agrees that he will defeat the Orc Lord, which surprises Rimuru. Oh, this will end badly. However, Rimuru agrees to fight with the demon and tells the group that they are with him, which they all agree to happily. Rimuru then thinks that they should join an ally with the Lizardmen, and Sue offers to talk personally with the Lizardman chieftain. Rimuru agrees, as the battle will be in the marshland, inhabited by the Lizardmen, and Sue leaves to deliver the message. Nibiru finally gains consciousness and thinks that Gobda is the real master of the village. While they talk, Laplace, a servant of Lord Gelmud, interrupts them to give a warning. He says that the orcs are truly led by an Orc Lord, and Nibiru leaves immediately to inform his father. Soon after, Sue arrives at the Lizardmen's village and demands an audience with the chieftain. Although the comrades do not trust him, the chieftain senses his great aura and grants him an audience. Sue informs him about Trainee's request and says that his master would like to ally with them. One comrade thinks that it's all a lie, as he hasn't heard about Rimuru before, and Sue attacks him with the silk thread for disrespecting his master, but the chieftain begs on his behalf. Oh, kids will be kids. Realizing that they will benefit from the alliance, the chieftain agrees, but demands to see Rimuru. Maybe they have a hard time trusting because they are cold-blooded. Too far? Sue tells him that he will set up a meeting and asks if they don't wage war until the meeting is done. The chieftain sees that they have a chance of defeating the orcs and asks that everyone gather. He informs them that powerful reinforcements will be joining them and restricts them from attacking the orcs. 4 days later, the orcs start to attack the Lizardmen, and they wonder if they can defend the place for the next takes 3 days. However, Gabiru returns and tells his father that he has asked for the help of 7,000 goblins. He notices that they aren't fighting the orcs, and his father informs him about the alliance, but Gabiru thinks that he is old. He apprehends his father and those working for him, and claims the throne as the Lizardmen's chieftain. Did not see that coming. Oh, well, yes, it was kind of obvious. He collects the Vortex Spear, and it acknowledges him as his master. His comrades inform him that they apprehend everyone against the defensive battle he proposes, and they swear their loyalty to him. The orcs fill the marshland, and Gabiru, alongside his comrades, attack them. However, Gabiru doesn't know the terror of the Orc Lord, and he is surprised to see that the remaining orcs are eating the dead orcs, giving them more strength. This is why you don't let a baby lizard do all the thinking. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If this video is the most popular of our latest collection of recaps, we will make a part 5. Let us know what series you want us to recap next in the comments below.